It really is time that the government sat up and paid attention to people who get in touch with it. Not just silly people like me, but real people who are concerned, for example, with trade, with manufacturing, the response of the government, for example, the government's export supply service, to say, well, everybody who wants support can get it, everything is fine. Clearly not. Clearly not. And the letters that we get back saying, yeah, everything's fine, talk to this person, talk to that person. When you talk to them, they say, well, it doesn't fall within our remit. And you realise the whole thing is chaotic. Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, all of them now registered in Ireland and making progress. And our own companies struggling because of chaos. We can talk about the high-end UK manufacturing crisis, which from 2016 has battled engineers leaving for the UK, for the EU, going back to their families in the EU, to the problem of supply chain just simply not working, to the problem of border controls. The UK is increasingly seen as a risk to business because of the complexity in the international market, because of EU bureaucracy, because of our own incompetence. So I don't see that manufacturing, when we know that big companies are risk averse, and when we know that the UK at the moment is too complex to function, when UK ministers increasingly avoid giving straight answers, and when you look at the figures, when you look at the percentages, 50% of UK manufacturing is in intermediate form. It feeds components to the European supply chain, 50%. And yet that European supply chain is complaining that it doesn't get its parts. Why? Because of strikes, because of labour shortage, because of bureaucracy, because of the long-term effect of the short-term chaos of Liz Truss's administration, because of corporate tax increases, because of rates rises, because of uncertainty. It's so much. In the end, it just becomes too much. The Resolution Foundation, a sort of think tank, says that global exports in the first 3 months of 2023 are at 17% below the levels forecast for the UK trade 3 years ago. At this moment, I don't see that unless we have more proactive and more straightforward systems, more proactive and more straightforward ministerial support, more proactive and straightforward responses to correspondence, that we can possibly make any headway at all. This arrogant, self-serving, self-satisfied response by government and senior civil service administration is crippling our future. And this isn't about whether we should have had Brexit or shouldn't have had Brexit. We had Brexit and we should have been able to sort it out, but we can't sort it out because nobody is telling the truth. So because when we get a minister or something on television, they will blame anything except for Brexit. Face the truth and say that Brexit is one of our problems that we have to overcome. Once we've identified a problem that needs overcoming, then maybe we can structure some sort of system to overcome it. But if we pretend that Brexit is not a problem, then we're living in cloud cuckoo land, and we are going to be forever dealing with something that we aren't even attempting to control. Brexit is a fundamental problem and is threatening our future. If we don't want to reverse Brexit, which I don't think we can, then we need to deal with it. And we need to honestly admit that it is causing a problem in our society. It is weakening our potential to trade. It's not just Northern Ireland, it's the whole of our country. It's the whole of the Brexit project. Wake up.